So we've just played Masquerada. So if you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Sure. So Masquerada is a tactical action RPG. It's inspired by the greats like Baldur's Gate, Dragon Age. In terms of art style, we've borrowed from French comic books to things like Transistor. Hopefully, a really good mix of things.
I was going to say, the art style is very distinct, as you say, borrowed bits from Transistor there. But I was also going to say the Banner Saga as well. Sort of, it's got that kind of gritty vibe to it.
It's funny your comment isn't the first time we've heard this comment about the Banner Saga a lot, but we never actually aimed to sort of take inspiration from them. It's just, I think what happened was because we both are isometric games with a lot of diagonal lines. And also the games, the Banner Saga battles and the battles in Masquerada take place often indoors, which in my mind that's sort of with their 2D the 2D cartoon aesthetic. That's sort of there's a lot of similar ground there, but it's really to be compared to the Banner Saga. It's really a happy coincidence.
It does stand out from it though. I should just point out, this kind of. I want to say like Assassin's Creed, but I don't think that's probably right. But that kind of Venetian style. It really captures it.
Yeah, because this is a game about in the story. These Venetian masks give you the power to cast magic. So with the whole Venetian setting and the aesthetic, we took a lot. We borrowed not just for the masks and the costumes, but also the architecture, and sort of you see it dripping with these references to Venice, and that's why sort of when you think Venice, you sort of think the first thing you think of is Assassin's Creed 2. Yeah, so I can see how that comparison happened, but yeah, we kind of took those references and made it our own thing.
We should point out as well that it is a very unique game and it sort of stands on its own 2 feet, as it were. So even though there are influences from there, I think it's different enough to warrant people's times with it. One of the things I did notice as well is the battle system seemed really fluid with it. The option to kind of play it in real time, or you can choose to stop. Right. How have you found the response to that kind of thing?
Lately, being honestly, like in the beginning, we used to say, "Hey, you can play it at any pace you want. You can play it like Diablo, charge in, be all like bash hits in all the time, or you can take it slow at your own pace and think about it." And we found that some people have just responded by saying, "You have to choose one or the other. You can't be both." And I get over time we figured they were right. So it was, if you're very, very, very skilled, yes, you could still play it in real time, pure real time. But it would be remiss to not to have a pause function and not create situations where people really need to think and plan their battles carefully.
I was going to say in a 10-minute demo, I think you managed to nail both of them. So
it is an introduction at the end of the day. This is a convention problem, and if we made it too hard, it would be the Dark Souls problem, right? It's so hard that you never beat the demo. So that we've made a mistake before. Even last year at EGX, our demo was quite intense because we had 3 characters and all of them had 5 skills. So players would sit down and be overwhelmed with, "Oh, I have 15 different skills. What am I supposed to do? I have no idea." So for the current demo that we have, this current demo that you just played actually is the prologue to the game. That basically is a tutorial, and we feed you information as you need it.
Fantastic. So I'm just going to ask some of the other questions as well, which is obviously why should gamers be excited for Masquerada?
Well, the Masquerada is, from our point of view, we tried to create a great experience filled with interesting combat and a really powerful and hard-hitting story. the game is the storyline, which, as I mentioned about the masks, the masks are actually sort of they're a very highly sought after set of items that, you know, when you have a mask, you become an elite in society. They call you a Masquerada, hence that's the title of the game. And the Masquerada, like they've sort of oppressed the folks who don't have much in the city. So there's a whole social economic tension there, and you know, you're exploring what it means to bring to deal with people who exhibit these sort of social rifts within the city, and all this drama is brought to life with a lot. You heard the voice acting in the game. I'm sure it's there's been a lot. We lined up a great cast of voice talents to bring the drama to life. If you're familiar with actors from Dragon Age or Mass Effect, I mean, you heard Lucia at the end. She's voiced by Jennifer Hale, who played Commander Shepard, the female Commander Shepard. There are lots of really, and the hero in the game, not the one in the prologue, but so that's played by Matthew Mercer, who's I think his recent big name role was McCree in Overwatch, but he's done a lot of great, incredible work, and I think Masquerada is a game that really brings out its range and emotions.
I was just going to say, you talked about the masks there and that being part of the story and stuff. It's interesting actually because if you think about it, there's a reference to kind of like anonymity and the power that kind of gives. So it's kind of nice that there's that like little message in there that sort of as a backing undertone.
Oh, it's a very layered story, a bunch of allegories, not just to the whole. I mean, of course, having the social divide between the haves and have-nots is always a touchy subject in our current global climate. But as developers, we're from Singapore, and there are certain things that there are certain facets of how we grew up in a small society that is basically an immigrant city filled with tensions between different people of different classes, different races that had to be carefully managed. And the little things that are reflected in the Masquerada story as well. That we hope that sort of differentiates it from the classic just hero saves the world sort of narrative.
Perfect. And so when is Masquerada coming out? Because we mentioned it before, but we see obviously it's Steam and PS4. So
so the game is coming out. Depending on when this recording is released, it might already be out. It's coming out on 30th of September on Steam for PC and Mac. Also on GOG and Humble Store, sorry. And on PS4 it'll be available. I can't give a specific date, but early 2017.
So early 2017. So it will be one of the first games to come out that year. So there's no pressure then.
No pressure at all. Yeah.
Fantastic. And where can people find out more about Masquerada?
This one's easy. You can find out more at masquerada.com. It's please don't spell it masquerade with an E. It's the word masquerade, but change the E at the end to an A.com.
Fantastic, brilliant. All right, thanks for your time, and wish you every success with Masquerada.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
pretty good. The show overall. Masquerada. Singapore. Okay. So reaching hours. Okay. We're not that long because we spent a lot of time going to America. That's a long flight. So flight here, 14 hours. It's a fraction. Don't stop again.
Now the system starts to reboot. Now the system starts to reboot.